So if you wanted to eradicate the sorrow, you need to know what is in your origin, not only in your origin, the origin of the universe. Then you get a clear understanding. Then you can deal with it. That's why he proposed his philosophy, Sankhya, in number. So he said there were two basic principles existing in the nature. Here, one is Purusha. Purusha. Purusha means consciousness. Supreme consciousness. Prakriti means nature. Purusha and Prakriti are the two basic components of existence. Purusha is the consciousness which is considered as the witness. Prakriti is the power of awareness. From where everything came into being. These are the fundamental principles on which the nature or the manifestation as we see today is coming into being. And Purusha is the witness. Like the example we were saying yesterday, you look at the sky, there was nothing. Beyond the universe, beyond the celestial objects, there is nothing. There is an emptiness. Or you can also consider it as fullness, because from that everything came into being. So there is something which was there in the emptiness, which was the cause of creation. That is what in yoga philosophy they have found out. But during the time of Sankhya, the Sankhya philosopher Kapila said, Purusha was there always, eternal. It is self-born, it was not created. It's an eternal principle which is there, which is not originated. It has no beginning and no end. It will be there. And then he said the other principle, which is the nature. Nature also is self-born, which was there always, which will ever be there, but goes on transforming its nature. So these two principles, according to Sankhya philosophy, is eternal. One is the witness, which is always there. The other is some vibration that was there in the nature as the rudimentary vibration, and that we will study now. And this vibration is always there. It goes on assuming form, it changes its form, and then it goes back into its original vibration state, and it remains there. So these are the two fundamental principles according to Santhi. And then from Prakriti, something starts. Nature is Purusha, consciousness, witness. Nothing happened. And it is always there. Like the infinite emptiness or fullness, as you think. And this is there. But this underwent a lot of process. Prakriti. And in the Prakriti, from the Prakriti, two principles evolve. One is Mahat and the other is Ahamkara. So this is Mahat principle. This is Ahamkara from Prakriti. From Purusha, nothing has happened. It remained as it is because it cannot involve in anything. It is the background, the witness. That witness, everything came from the witness, so it is understood by later philosophers like yoga, considered it as the eternal witness. Sankhya says that it is the witness which never involved in any process, but it remains as the background. Prakriti is the nature, and from the nature, two principles evolve. One is Mahatattvam, and the other is Ahamkara. And this is the intelligence or buddhi. Intelligence, which is buddhi. And aham tattvam is ego. Whereas Purusha remained as it is without undergoing any process. But in the basic nature, there happens something from that two principles evolved. And one is Mahat Tattva, which is intelligence, buddhi evolved to create. And then another thing that evolved from the nature is Aham Tattva, the feeling of I evolved. This is the basic components. Then there are little. Prakriti contains three components.
One time. If consciousness and intelligence and combined.
Consciousness witness item. Other than the witness. Consciousness is considered as the base witness. Intelligence is the creative principle with which it starts to work. One is the background, the other is the right. So Prakriti. From Prakriti, from the, as we have seen, from the Ahamkara, from the, here we can write Aham. From the Aham, things started. Sattva, from Sattva, Rajas evolved. From Rajas, Tamas. So Sankhya master says that from the Prakriti, three principles evolve. One is Sattva, and the second is Rajas, and the third is Tamas. One evolved from the other. So the basic thing which evolved at the first time was Sattva. Sattva means clarity, light, and knowledge. Sattva is clarity, light, and knowledge. So clarity, light, and knowledge evolved from the Prakriti, from the nature. Knowledge, if there is no knowledge, nothing could be evolved. And so he was locating it because things were as it is today. It was not today. It was not as we see today. There was nothing. But from very small vibe, everything has happened. So there must be knowledge before the creation. How to create? That knowledge must be there. Otherwise, creation would be very possible. So maybe the reason why Sattva he considered as the basic thing, which is knowledge and clarity. It was clear what to happen. And clarity, light, and knowledge evolved at the beginning. And that is called the Sattva principle. From Sattva, something else happened. And that is Rajas. Rajas is passion to move and movement. From the knowledge, it starts to move. For moving, there should be an inspiration to move, which is the passion to move, and then the result was movement. So the first movement evolved from the Prakriti as Sattva quality, from Sattva Rajas, and the movement. And as a result of the movement that started there, something starts to happen there. And maybe some free particles or something might have happened. And they say the manifested world is starting to come into being. The very base of that, for the Sattva, for the Maharshi, for Maharshi, it is some movement and some thing which is slowly starting to expand. The nature of movement is expansion. So in the infinite emptiness, there started some movement, and there must be the knowledge to move, otherwise movement would be very impossible. So there must be knowledge, and how to move was very clear. So the idea of clarity and knowledge was there in the beginning. That's why creation was started according to him. And from that movement and desire to move and movement evolved. And from desire to movement and move, there happened some collaboration, some combination between the vibrations or between the particles, and then finally a gross state evolved. it is the gross state. Tamas is the gross nature. The gross nature started to evolve. And this is tamas. So when it becomes grossified, lethargy is not appearing to be moving. Now when you see this, it is not moving at all. It is just a static matter. Lethargy, sleep, it is as good as sleep. Darkness, economics. Lethargy, sleep, darkness and economics are the tamasic quality. And when you look at it, in all objects this we can see. Maybe by seeing the nature, he was speculating that everything, this matter is just like you keep it there, it is just a, it is immobile, it is static, but there is a material. But nowadays scientifically you get into this, you will see that there is incessant movement inside this one. Now it is very much easier to understand because we have the support of science. It is fully charged with atoms. And so atoms are pack of energy and all the subatomic particles are moving incessantly and it appears as a matter, a static matter. The movement we are not seeing. If there is a movement, there needs to be something, a desire to move or movement must be there, that is the Rajasic quality. And then there should be knowledge to move. And so all these things together manifested as a matter. This is what Sankhya says. So underlying everything that you see in the universe as manifested thing, it appears to be static. But deeper inside there is incessant movement. So if there is movement, there must be passion to move or an idea to move, and as a result movement happens. For that there should be the knowledge to move, so it started to evolve. So according to Sankhya it says, Prakriti evolved from these three qualities, Sattva, from Sattva Rajas evolved, from Rajas Tamas evolved. And then he says how further things have to go. From Tamas, elements evolved. First evolved element was ether. From ether, air to. From air, fire to. From fire, water to. From water, earth. This is what Sankhya says. From Tamas quality, which is the grossified, all these three qualities together called Trigunas. The three qualities together called Trigunas, three qualities. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So from the Prakriti, from the aspects of Aham, three principles evolve. One is Sattva, which is clarity, light and knowledge. From clarity, light and knowledge, passion to move and movement, which is Rajasic quality evolved. From Rajasic quality, Tamasic quality evolved, which is gross nature, which is for the grossification. When it is grossified, it becomes a lethargy. It appears to be lethargy, not moving at all. And it is as good as sleeping. If it is just not moving, it's as good as sleeping. And then it is seemingly very opaque, but the ingredient of it, that is the atoms, they are not opaque at all. Darkness, and we believe that there he connects with us. We believe that it is real. For us, it is a microphone. This is how we attribute, and this is very real, tangible. And there are a lot of discussions around that in the subsequent philosophies, and in his own philosophy, there are discussions. So all the elements involved. And actually the Sankhya basic book is this. It's not. You cannot trace it. But maybe 2600 years ago, this philosophy was made. And during those times, everything is written in sutra form because sutras are accurate sentences, poetic. It is all sutras are poetic nature. The format is like poetry. And so it is coined in small, small sutras, and that they taught to their students. Like by heart, born repeating, small children. So they keep it in mind as like a poetry. And then they never forgotten it, and they communicated it to the next generation, their students. And then their students, like that, it was coming for generations and generations. And the known commentary now is Ishwara Krishna's commentary on Sankhya philosophy, which came in the 4th century AD. So it's almost 900 years, maybe 900 or maybe less. Years it was transmitted as as like a verbal transmission. And when it came to, so now the book which is available for us is as it came to Ishwara Krishna and what he has written down. By the time writing language has really developed and everything started to write down. Master started to write it down. So Ishwara Krishna is now the master whom we are following as he said about Sankhya. So he interpreted the Sankhya philosophy in poetic form, and that is what we know. So whether there may be some alterations or something which we have no idea, but we are following Ishwara Krishna's Sankhya Karika.